What is up, Tube? Let's give you guys a few minutes to come on in. Oh, look at that, I'm live. Just gotta get my phone set up with chat on there so I can see it. There is a bit of a delay, so bear with me. Alright, I was just assembling this Gen 9. Yeah, I thought I'd do it live because I'm a sucker for punishment. What's up, Cam? Alright. So this has been a bit of an ongoing thing, this particular blaster. Me and it had it apart a few times. Hey Dean, you should be familiar with this one by now. We've got a black nylon case, gearbox case. The original one, which is here, you guys who watched some of my previous streams might have seen this. Maybe you can see that. It does have a crack in here, and while it's not broken yet, it will break. So went to a nylon one, basically put all the internals from what was in here into that, upgraded everything in here, gears, cylinder head, cylinder, plunger, all that good stuff. So then I didn't have a spring for the select fire because I didn't have one. So I had to get one of those. I've just actually finished installing that spring just now. I've also modified the mag well so that it takes Gen 8 mags, and I've put the Dean's connector on there so that it can handle some high current, and because Dean's is better. Can't see your face, can we see your thighs? Sure. Alright, just gotta put the screws in the bottom of this, which will hold the handle to the lower receiver. This is probably one of my least favourite things about Gen 9s. This whole screwing the grip on business. Hey, that actually reminds me. Do you guys like my my wooden bench here? Do you guys like this? Is this a good surface? Is this a good backdrop for things? Because I got something new today. It's upside down. There we go. Now I can I don't know, drop screws and not have them roll across the bench or something. I thought that was pretty cool anyway. The old AR-15 on it, which incidentally isn't too dissimilar to the way the gel blaster assembles. Anyway. It will be past the first time you jam a screwdriver into the table's nicer. The table I will be pissed the first time I jam a screwdriver into it. Is that what you're saying? Like if I jam a screwdriver into this, because it's actually it's soft. It's like a soft mat. It's designed so you don't scratch components, I guess, on the bench, or don't scratch the bench top, I guess, as well. The mat, I actually literally bought it today from some local person on Facebook. I just was on Facebook and it came up and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't know, thought I'd do that. It may or may not actually be better to just have it on the wood. I don't know, you guys can tell me what you think. It is like a big mouse pad. It is literally like a big mouse pad. That's what it feels like. Alright, so I got all three of these in. 3, 4. Some of you guys have noticed I can't tell the difference between 3 and 4. Sometimes. Have you guys been watching my gameplay videos? Do you care for that sort of thing at all? Something you just don't really care about. Manual 1911. Is there a manual 1911? I haven't seen a manual 1911. I've seen the auto ones, and they're crap. Alright, some of you guys may have watched my last live stream where I actually set the motor depth for this particular blaster. So it's already been done. So theoretically, I should be able to just pop this on. It should all be correct. So what's everyone else been up to? How's life in everywhere? Still looking for that hidden sniper. Yeah, dude, I watched the replay back like 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times before I actually saw where he was hiding. So bloody camouflage. But he should have kept himself hidden, because he gave himself away after he hit me, and then my medic came and cleaned him up afterwards. So he should have stayed hidden. He would have cleaned us both up. The next thing I'm not super fond of was assembling these AEG type blasters is this bit. I'm sure there's probably an easy way of doing it. If there is, I don't know what it is. This is how I do it. I hold the blaster vertical and then I screw it in like this. And just sort of hope and pray that it goes in. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, looks like it did. Well, that was good. I would have thought that this being a live stream, it would have gone totally wrong. Because that's usually what happens on live streams. Whatever can go wrong goes wrong. Now, I've replaced the standard Gen 9 screw in here with a longer one. Now, allow me to show you what I mean. Now, this is standard Gen 9 buffer tube screw, and it would usually go in here, right? So it sits in one of these type of things. So that sits in there, which sits inside the buffer tube, and then that goes there, and you can see it ends basically at the lower receiver here, and there is a nut in there. But if you upgrade to one of the metal spring retainers, you'll find that they're threaded in the end. And there's my long screw. And so I've actually upgraded it to a longer screw like this size that actually goes all the way through the lower receiver, and it actually screws into that spring retainer in there. So if I push on that spring retainer, it doesn't like wobble back and forth like I see a lot of people with videos of these things like wobbling back and forth up and down in here, these bits. So like if I stick a screwdriver in there, you can see I can't move that. It doesn't move because it's solidly attached to the buffer tube. Alright, so I've added the mag priming button in here as well. The wire runs down here. I always run it down this side because the legs of the switch seem to want to live there. Apparently you can run it down the other side, but I run it down this side. That's how I do it. It works. It's I like it. I like it there. It's good. What else have we got here? Got this little end cap with a sling attachment. So the sling hook just pops in there, and that'll hold your blaster, and it's quick detach. So you can take it off. It's kind of cool. I got this. I don't know how you pronounce it. VLTOR, Voltor. Yeah, got that stock. So I think it looks cool for the purposes of this build. Actually, I thought it looked so cool that I bought another one. Another thing I gotta talk about while I'm here, while I'm right here with the buffer tube. Buffer tubes. Guys, I spent like 2 hours last night just putting buffer tube onto this thing. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, because like, how easy is it to put a buffer tube on? You just screw it on, right? There is like, I've got an array of buffer tubes, and every single one is a different size. Let me Alright, I got all these buffer tubes. And what I found was, I think this one here was the one that I first tried to use, and I found that when I put it in here, there was just like loads of slop, like heaps of slop, so much slop I wasn't happy with it, which made me want to measure this. If I had my vernier somewhere here. Alright, so I measured this. .8, 29.2, 29.3, 29.2, 29.0, and the one that's on here is 29.3. So it seems that there are 29mm ones, or variants roughly within 29, and then there are 28s, and yeah, so just keep that in mind when you're buying a buffer tube, because the inside of this is 29. So if you use this one that's 28, you're going to end up with a millimeter worth of slop. No one likes a sloppy stock. No one likes a sloppy stock. You like my camera thing, do you? Do you, Dean? How about this? You like this one? Yeah. Yeah, have a tinker. Just go for it. I mean, it's not that hard. Anyway, so if you're buying stocks, pays to measure your buffer tube and work out the stock you want for the size of the buffer tube, or buy the buffer tube for the stock. Either or, whichever one works for you. Alright. Oh, cool. Put the upper on now. Alright, so I've already got the handguard, the upper and some optics fitted to it. I've got the Bruisemaster barrel with the Gen 9 T-piece in there as well. I believe it's a gold barrel. You may notice I've got a barrel sock on it as well. That's a bit of I guess legislation you could call it from our local field. You're required to have barrel socks. So that's just something I'm doing here as well. Just, I don't know, keeping it going on. Does the stock have storage compartments? It does. It's got like these little tubes. You can store, like, I guess, batteries in there as well. You can also undo this Allen screw and the whole side compartments come off. You take them off, or you could just put the little caps on them. And I think there's something. Is there something else? No, I think that's it. Just the two side storage compartments. I thought there might have been something in here as well, but I think that's a different stock. I think that's just the buffer tube goes in there. So yeah, the two side compartments. They are a good size for batteries. Unfortunately, not useful batteries. They're a good size for AA batteries, or I think they might even be a good size for the 123A batteries, if I can find one of those somewhere here. Here we go. Yes, perfect. So, if you've got a few of the 123A batteries, these ones, they are a perfect fit in that tube, and you can stack a few of them in there, and they happen to be the batteries that this runs on. So, I don't know, that's handy, I guess. I suppose you could also put like earplugs or cleaning equipment in there. The world is your oyster. My switch on Gen 8 gearbox with mag prime broken after shooting just 20 gel balls. The switch broke, or what actually broke? What part of it broke? Okay, with this bit here, I like to actually just lift that over there so I don't damage that mag priming wire, because it is a little bit exposed if you just slide it on the old-fashioned way. All right, pin. Hokely dokely. Gen 8 mag. Guido's Gen 8 mag. That's nice and easy because I've taken a little bit out of here just so that Gen 8 mag fits in there. Trigger switch. Oh, the trigger switch. How many current are you? How many current? How much current are you running? I guess is the question. Like, are you running like some hectic motor? Is that why it keeps breaking? Trigger switch keeps breaking. Future snake storage. Oh, tactical snakes in the buffer tube. In the stock, yes. Oh yes, absolutely. You watched the video with chicken nuggets? You should see what she got me. So many snakes. How am I going to eat all these snakes? Is it a kilo? Oh no, it's a lot. Whatever it is, it is a big bag. Mag Prime works, trigger doesn't. So, trigger switch with Mag Prime mod. So the mag have you got the diode the right way around? I'm trying to think of how you could wire it where the trigger switch wouldn't work, but the Mag Prime would. I don't know. I'm unsure of how that would work. Now, here's a couple of tips, specifically for blasters that have tight bore barrels, like Bruisemaster barrels or otherwise. When they haven't fired for a while, when the barrel is dry, you really need to get a few balls down the barrel to lube it up a bit before it's going to work properly. If the barrel's dry, the balls are just going to explode on their way out. So the first few you fire probably will explode. Don't charge the handle. Don't pull the charging handle when you first load the mag on a dry barrel. I know that sounds weird, but let me say it again. Don't pull the charging handle on a first mag on a dry barrel, because if the barrel's dry and the nozzle is in a position where it's not fully sealed against the T-piece, when you pull the charging handle, the motor can actually force balls into the barrel, and because the barrel's tight, it just smushes balls into there. So like you'll end up with like a whole freaking barrel full of smashed gel balls before you even get started, and nobody wants that. So that's my tip. Not necessarily for this, but for all blasters. If you're first out of the box firing, don't charge the mag priming handle. Like dry fire it a couple of times. And I know that's probably controversial because people don't like dry firing. I could get into that, but there's reasons why dry firing is and is not good. But basically, if your blaster is relatively stock, you shouldn't have any problems with dry firing. If you have an aluminium plunger head and an aluminium or a brass cylinder head and there's no padding on them, then dry firing is very bad. However, if you have a standard sort of nylon head, nylon cylinder head, and like fairly soft plastic stuff, dry firing isn't the end of the world. You can also get padded cylinder heads that have got like a bit of, this sort of padding on it, and in that case dry firing's not the end of the world either. But yes. Alright, I'm gonna have to test this, aren't I? Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have a battery that's going to fit into the buffer tube of this. So I'm just going to have to sort of MacGyver something up. The scope is I'm not sure what it's called. I just got it because of the look. I don't really know what it's called. It's like it's just a red dot basically. It's not really a scope. It's only got it's not like no magnification. It's just a single red dot. Okay, so bear with me, I have to connect Bluetooth, because there's going to be some high-tech shit. Alright. Can you see this? cool. Let's do this. Now, like I said, I don't have a battery. Alright. See how this goes. Alright. That was quick. What do we got? 379 FPS. It's not bad. Maximum 399 FPS. Minimum 353 FPS. An average of 379 FPS. You can see it all here on the screen in real time as I did it. It's pretty high tech, isn't it? Now, how do I get back to YouTube's? Alright. Does that laser thingy work? Yeah, the laser thingy works. It's a legit thing. So it's a legit thing with flashlight. That's flashlight, laser, red dot, and infrared. Oh no, that's laser and flashlight. That's red. One of these is infrared. Probably that one because I can't see anything. And oh no, that's infrared. So that's infrared. I can't see anything. But you guys probably can, because you're looking through a camera that's got some sort of infrared capability. Yeah. So that's a thing that does stuff. I'll be honest, it's more just for looks, but it does do stuff. Despite best efforts, semi-auto does not work real good, if at all. Unfortunately, Dean, I've tried many times, and it's just, I don't know, it just seems like it's probably that little, you know, the little spring that goes in here, that's the bit that does the semi-auto cutoff, and yeah, I replaced it and it popped out again, and then I replaced it again, and it still doesn't seem to, it just doesn't want to. I think I had the standard Gen 9 motor in there, and it was working with the standard Gen 9, but as soon as I put the Chi-Hi Red or whatever it is in there, it just, I mean, you can still like, you can sort of tap it. Oh, I got no battery in it. Derp. Derp. Yeah, you can just sort of tap it and it will like get one round, but like the fire rate's that fast. It's probably pretty much burst or nothing. You heard it. You would have heard it on the video, I'm sure. And that, my friends, is me for the night. I'm done. I want to box this up and ship it. Is that silencer connected to the front grip or part of the grip? What is the grip called? It is not part of the grip. It is a separate thing. It sits just maybe this far down into the grip, but it is a separate thing. It's not a yep. Alright, cool. Dean, you are definitely gonna hurt your friends. Alright, peace out guys. Catch you next time.